Has Darren got a phone number?
Who is Darren?
And
Darren B or Darren T or whatever his name is.
No. Darren the culprit. Darren the culprit. No, he left.
Yeah.
He's gone, isn't he? Yeah, he kept banned on trouble.
Yeah.
Well, what they wrote back to us is that maybe he's done something wrong, maybe he hasn't. Okay. Other than that.
But they need to follow through the procedure.
They're not.
Look, they've made inflammatory statements, i.e. you're working, right? So they need to support that. Now, if you would like to know where they're getting that evidence from, the way to go about that is through the freedom of information. That probably take over 28 days for them to respond, and you may not get the information immediately, but it doesn't matter. At least you put in an application for it. And if just getting clarity in regards to what it is you're doing for work, that they think you're doing for work, whether it's a volunteer capacity or not. I mean, I would probably pour blood on them and get the $90 a week, $3 an hour bit of legislation and say, how fucking dare you? I'm not even like getting paid $3 an hour. You know, like, how fucking dare you? And like, remember how the reason why I boycotted that event was because I discovered that disabled people after need assessment or capacity assessment were eligible to be paid only $3 an hour, minimum of $90 a week. And I split it. I was like, you fucking scumbags. You've got a factory set up, you've got a production line, you've got very efficient workers, you're doing work that's high level, i.e. assembling circuitry and all the rest of it, and you're paying people $3 an hour, and you're basically exploiting them to keep Bedford Industries alive. You know, I mean, they're private funded, they're not getting money from the government, they're relying on their public-private partnerships to stay afloat, and that's at the cost of people who can't do any better. Oh, they need engagement. Oh, this is like the best thing that they could possibly do. Well, if it's the best thing they could possibly do, fucking pay them. You know? Like, award rates. You know, I mean, $3 cannot be an award rate. That's exploitation. And like, I live just up the road from Bedford Industries. I go past their place every now and then. I have a little peek, and it's a production line. You know, are you saying that people in the model, when they're making Model T Holdens, Model T Fords, that was high level work, putting something on a fucking conveyor belt? Like, anyway, sorry I'm ranting, Jody.
That's right.
Oh,
but Marcus had a ball.
Them,
Marcus had a ball. No, type.
Mm-hmm.
You type. There, right there. God, sorry, I'm just struggling with typing. But Marcus did have an absolute ball. And
of course!
He got his hair cut for free. He had an absolute blast.
Do you know why they only pay them $3 an hour?
They shouldn't pay them at all.
Why?
Others.
Because they don't want what they get paid to impact their disability support pension. So there's some sort of a weird agreement, and I think it's even with the government, because otherwise it would be illegal and they wouldn't be able to do it.
Be like it should be 1 hour. Yeah, instead of.
I hear what you're saying. It's not infringing.
1 hour, $50.
But are you saying that they're not able to report their earnings?
No,
just
they
like
report.
anybody else?
No, they report their earnings to Centrelink.
Yes.
So it's all documented that they work.
Hmm.
But what they do is they pay them that like $3 an hour, say, because then if they work 8 hours a day, 5 days a week, then what they earn in that fortnight won't impact their disability support pension. So it's kind of like a top up to that.
I hear what you're saying, but I've got a friend who's on the disability support pension. He works 4 days a week at Barnacle Bills.
Yeah.
He reports his earnings every day, every week.
Yeah.
Now, it's like, I get it. It's about incentivising business to give people a go that they wouldn't generally give a go. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's exploitation. Like I can't think like.
But it was a higher rate than less hours, so it would be more appropriate.
Yeah.
I think so. I think so. Some competition, you know, and like I get it. It's a real tricky one. It's just the way it popped off when I was asking them to pay your models award rate, and they were saying they would only pay their people, and that's when I discovered that it was only $3 an hour, minimum $90 a week, and I just was like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you guys. Like, really? Like, you know, I think I said, Joe, boycott, divest, sanction, boycott, divest, sanction. But you were like, the limelight is going to be like the media.
No. Not about that.
You love the media.
It was about what I was doing was not about wages.
Yeah, I know.
It's Friday.
But it's about dignity, right? And so FOI form, Joe, they don't have an FOI form on their website, but they do have an email to send an FOI to.
And this is NDIS.
And by the way, I'm not a lawyer.
This is NDIS you look for.
Yeah.
They don't have a form. Interesting.
They don't have a standard form, but you'll be able to get a standard form online. And all you're doing is requesting the evidence, so maybe not even the same evidence. Just refer to a statement that they've made and say, can you please provide any correspondence between yourselves and the so-called informants that have provided you with information that suggests that I'm working 3 days a week and needing to catch taxis 3 days a week.
Hear that? Try to say it again. Katie was just shocked when I said that. So who? What you got, Katie?
Yourself and the informants.
That's what you got. That's all she got. Can you please provide proof of where you have the picture? I'm just looking at the cameras. Can you please provide me with with proof of evidence or proof of what did you say, Ben?
Of the proof of where you got the information.
Going back. Firstly, Thursday night, what time is Limo dated? And Oregon leaving?
Thursday night.
Yeah. And that? Someone tried to ring. Someone tried to ring. I'm down. And yes. Hang on.
Benjamin Holt.
Did you say? Okay. What'd she say?
Funded annually. Below cost. Funding for repairs and maintenance is included as per AT item. Major repairs are no longer included in the PACE system as a line item. Quote required and now require a quote and OT assessment for inclusion via a plan variation. The service booking below has come from the plan which was in the previous system as per quote date. Have you had progress on your AOT review / outcome as yet?
Still in the age reviews. Hi.
Hey Joe, how you going?
You dropped out or we were talking to a wall or something?
My phone battery died. I'm just leaving my house. I've got a
Plug-in.
there was I'm just catching a bus into the city. I got to go up to the Feathers Hotel at 6:45.
I don't know. Okay. Did you say
So
don't say proof, provide proof? You
Yeah,
said
so
give me
just
back
whatever
off a bit.
they're making pretty inflammatory statements. They need to back that up, and if you can just request some kind of evidence, like
Yep,
whatever
right.
they're basing that decision on,
Yep.
let's bring that forward to the AAT
Yep.
as evidence. So
Yep.
if you request that via a Freedom of Information Act form, they have to respond, and they have to provide it. Now, this is why I think you need to speak to their lawyer, because they may have that evidence. So another way of going about it is writing an email to the lawyer with a title, without prejudice,
Oh yeah.
right? And in that email, just clarify what the definition of without prejudice is. You know, that the conversation will be had without prejudice, which is an open chat without any admissions of guilt, and then and in that and just request that conversation. And when the conversation's had, they don't need to get back to you. But if they do get back to you, say your client is making pretty inflammatory, bold statements, which are very binary, saying that I am doing X, Y, and Z, but they're not providing any evidence. Do you have any evidence that supports that claim? You know, so basically you're asking for a pre-trial and to have a conversation where all the evidence is brought forth, you know, so you can actually talk about it. So
Yeah,
can I put it back in a sec?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Do you have any evidence that supports this claim? You've got to write down. That I have. No, back at work 3 years back. I went back to work 3 days a week, and this is, my family was cut back in March 23rd. I wouldn't say why. Don't say that as documented in your email or as noted. Hello? Oh, hello.
Hello,
Are you back?
I'm back.
If I say to the lawyer, do you have any evidence supports this claim? I have to write from the right in front.
I would
Where's
put
the
it there
address for
without
Fairmont
prejudice, because if they're providing any evidence, they need to know that that's in confidence, so you're not going to use, so they're not admitting guilt. So that's why I would put in there without prejudice, because you're not allowed to use any confessions they say as an admission of guilt. So think about it like that. So if you write to the lawyer, you're almost witness tampering in a strange way. Like you're sort of going, oh, what sort of evidence have you got? You know, it's like, but if you can say, oh, can we have a chat without prejudice, and anything you say won't be used against you or your clients, and anything I say won't be used against me, then you guys are in a safe spot to talk about all the backs and forwards, so everybody's on the same page.
Yeah.
And then you could possibly resolve it in some kind of settlement outside of court before the AAT hearing. But if you want to hit them hard, apply with the Freedom of Information Act policy they have. Request the any documentation or they're basing their decisions on, and you know, that may mean you need to adjourn the decision again, adjourn the hearing until you get that information, because once you've got that information, you know now what they're talking about, but until they, you know, provide any of that, you don't have a clue. They're just saying, like, yeah, you fucking spray painted that wall pink. It's like, where the fuck are you getting that information from? You know? It's just like, it's he said, she said shit. Like, this is law. This is legal. They've put you through, you're most likely going to get, like, you know, in a good situation, a couple of $1 million compensation. You know? Like, that would be a good scenario, but they're going to have to compensate you for the damages that their inflammatory fucking accusations have put you through.
Well, that's why
you know, you've been through A, no plan manager, B, you've had your funding cut, you've had your autonomy taken away from you for no reason, based on their, you know, like, and the reality is, the only volunteer work that you do is self-management.
Yeah.
And they've taken that joy away from you. You know, your the thing that makes you proud, and the things that keeps you like, you know, keeps your ball moving, rolling forward. What are they trying to, like? They're not trying to put you in a bed. It's an administrative error, but it's an administrative error followed by more administrative errors, followed by more administrative errors, that's caused you harm. And that harm is compensatable. So, like, at the end of the day, I mean, I don't want to give you false hope, but that's how I see it. And again, I'm not a lawyer, I'm an industrial designer. But, you know, I mean, the autonomy thing is a big thing. That keeps your internal fire burning.
Yeah.
I'm just putting that out there. You don't need to agree with me, but you know what I mean. That's what keeps your internal fire burning, because that's what you've come from a professional background.
And all they've got is all they've got in their files. All the lawyers looking at is 2 years, the last 2 years, and that last 2 years is nothing, and it's all based on something. And this is what I mean. You asked me, and he was asking me, you asked me the other day, where's it come from, when it changed? You find this email, this amount changes everything. But where did it come from? So, it's almost like someone sat down and fed them bullshit information. They've got the wrong person. I mean, there's someone else in the wheelchair with a name. I mean, who knows? But either way, someone sat there and fed them bullshit information.
It's bullshit information. So, I mean, I would just request with the Freedom of Information Act form, request where that bullshit information comes from. If they're referring to landmark, well, you get your 14 landmark members to validate the facts. If they're talking about the fashion launch, which was in your goals for 2020 or 2021, you specify the goal, and then you give them an itemised, cost.
No, they didn't.
And like, reality is, if you haven't done a business activity statement for your business, then there's no business. It's null and void anyway. So again, they've got no legs to stand on in regards to that. But you can talk about your goals and say that, my goal is to launch a fashion brand. I came from a designer background. Here is some samples I've produced. Here is a fashion launch. Here is photo shoots. Here are some industry sponsors that I accumulated during the event. Here are some taxi fares that I but like, there's nothing for you to be ashamed of, because that's just R&D. That's just launching a brand. And then really they've thrown you from that because of all the shit you've
And they encourage work. They encourage life. They encourage work, they encourage your life.
Of course. Then they need to provide where they're getting their facts from in regards to the inflammatory statements they've made to cause you damage. And if they can't do that, then any rational minds, but that's the only thing that's being audited, isn't it?
Everything? Everything.
It's like 20 or more points.
Oh, the cheerleading, servicing, I send you a photo of my shoes. Me needing physio, me needing new shoes.
That's the neglect. That's the damage.
Chris Davis.
Oh, by the way, I was talking about you to my masseuse today. She wants to help you. She's a Thai masseuse.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's interesting, having somebody walk all over you. And
no. The time to help us into nowhere. I was to get out of my chair, but I haven't worked out. Working out.
Oh, did the maintenance guy come?
No.
When's he coming?
The one for the chairs tomorrow, 1:30.
1:30, okay. Go back to the, the statement about your chair servicing. So you said that they questioned the necessity of your chair and also the necessity of the carers putting you to bed. Well, that's not that's well below their pay grade to make those statements. So if you can get an OT to say, this is how Joanne has to go to bed, stop.
I had one, they read the report, and they translated it as I walked to bed because I have a standing wheelchair.
At the end of the day,
They
Joe,
changed
your
that.
condition
Because
is
the OT
non-fraud.
report,
You can't
the OT report,
fraudulently have MS.
the OT report went over the head. And but this, all these things are all documented for years, I find. For years I went my plan, for years I was funded. Now it's all like prove that you anything.
Joe, your condition, you cannot fraudulently have your condition.
I know.
So it's
Tell them that.
not about their opinions.
It is.
You know,
Yes. They've proven
below
it
their
is.
pay grade.
Like in reality it's not. But they've proven that someone can pop up here and do it.
Look, having to read an OT report is above their pay grade because they don't know how to understand it.
You hear what Katie said? Having to read an OT report is above their pay grade and they don't know how to understand it.
But it's not up to them to understand.
Yeah,
And
because
so
they translated.
I'm just really concerned why they're taking you on, why they're taking you as like high profile person on. Like obviously they're in trouble,
What they
but I
say.
just don't get it. Like it's like yeah, they got in a lot of trouble with the psychosocial stuff and like they've overspent and they're like trying to save money, but they're only going to lose money. You know, this is like the money that they've saved by putting you through the ringer for the last couple of years, they're going to lose plus lots more because of the psychological shit they've put you through. So, I mean, again, that's why I say you should get speak to the psychologist or your doctor and get them to say
I went there.
how you were
So I went to my doctor
and how you are now.
So I went to the doctor and he said, this is unreal. So he wrote me a letter and said, just put me back on the funding. He said, you don't need to go and have any more testing letters and appointments to make them jump. I'm just going to write the letter to reinstate it. And you're just going to need it back how it was.
The government department is not a general practitioner. A general practitioner has had such diverse training. They're not psychologists, but they've done psychology elements, you know? So, a clerical worker in the government has nothing. No, like they have a degree, that's all they need.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it doesn't need to be in occupational therapy or they don't need to be general practitioners, they just need to be a clerical worker. So it's not about their opinion. They're basing this on some facts. They need to provide those facts. If they don't have those facts and it's just inflammatory statements so they can save money, they're going to lose heaps of money.
So then, first we get the facts.
These are my opinions.
Yes.
Again, I'm an industrial designer. I need to sign a waiver, but
Yes.
But I think you're
But
going to
still.
shit it in, Joe.
I'm not, because at the moment I'm being squashed with more and more. So it's like by Wednesday I have to produce all these answers to this document about that proves that I need a 3-bedroom apartment, proves that I need catheter funding, proves that I need continence. So all I'm trying to do right now is prove what I had. Funding for this, funding for that. Now I found out, Katie, they funded $8,000 a year for my meal preparations in 2019. Now they're funding nothing. Now they fund nothing. So when we go back and look at what they funded, what their funding was fine. So they were funding it then, and then someone came up with a gossip. Whatever this gossip is, it's become hearsay.
I've just realised that they've tripped themselves up in that statements document.
Yeah.
They claim that the only plan that has been utilised in accordance with reasonable and necessary is the plan that was what they claim is 1 year and 1 month and $1.3 million.
Which isn't.
Which,
There is no 1 year plan.
no, that's what they claim in that table. But they claim that that is the only plan for 13 months that has been utilised in a reasonable and necessary manner, and it was $1.3 million. So doesn't that prove that the rest of the plans have been underfunded?
The only plan was $1.3 million when the ICE managed.
You managed it.
And was that one of the plans that Joe was self-managing?
Yeah,
Was
that's one that I managed.
Yeah.
And the only one that they've got in their records that I managed, all the rest wasn't, because the other one...
Joe spent 100% of it within the duration, or was it because...
None of the rest of them were 100% utilised when you look at the data that they put in a table.
But the other thing, I mean, you can't, it's on the agency. You can't really use it, but the other ones, all the other plans up to 2018 are all, you use every month, percent of it when you can. So you, after it's finished, you've got 3 months to get it all out. Once you can't, after 3 months you can't access it, so you use every percent of it. So you bring up the planner, they'll tell you how much is left. There's $1,200 left in coordination or whatever else. You use every cent of it. Then they go, you used every cent of it. It's like, no kidding, hopefully that's very smart. Like that.
Yeah, but that's also because you come from a business background, and that's the business ethos as well. So maybe they're just trying to say.
But they've only got one plan. No, in their records, they only have one time of me managing it. They don't have all the plans beforehand. They mysteriously missed 9 plans. They missed all of them. So did you write down an awful lot Ben said to pull one sentence?
Like Joe, this hearing
Let
with
me
the
go and do this,
ACCC is going to be bringing forth all the information. So they're going to make statements, you're going to make statements, then there's going to be an adjournment, and no follow-up's going to be had until, you know, everybody's had a chance to look at all the information. So that's why I think if you can have a chat with a lawyer without prejudice, to have a bit of a discussion so you can be better prepared. But yeah, just keep doing what you're doing with collating stuff.
Well, I don't know if it's happened yet.
It's going to be really good to be able to hand
last night
a lawyer.
Wait, Ben. Last night after talking with someone about the situation, they said get a legal accountant onto it. But what I decided last night, after everything, is to go back to suing them about the chair. Because they don't give a damn about what happened to me. They don't care about what happened with the chair. They don't care about all this. The minute, almost literally the minute, I pulled out my case, dropped my case, they started attacking me. So they weren't attacking me until I pulled down my case. So I dropped the case in September 26th, and they started this in October against me. So then...
Yeah, and I know about this. You said
so, but it's like the minute. So I emailed Elizabeth last night and said, if you told me you were going to park the file so we could re-establish it, if I wanted to, and I said, no, I don't want to. But you said you would anyway. Have you kept the file? And she was going to keep it so I could continue it if I wanted to. So I said, I don't have the money right now. It's probably because they owe me, and they owe me the money. But I want to continue the case against NDS and leave her with the chair, start it up again, because they're just not getting anywhere. So
how's the
that's
NDIS
exactly
fund?
3 years.
Yeah.
They wouldn't replace it. 18 months political intervention. We had so much intervention, and in the end, there's taken in charge from NDS, rang up on the mobile and put me the funding handed, got the funding transferred out all the areas, put into my account.
Yeah,
in
but
one area.
that's like them. That's like them teasing you with a cigarette lighter and you dropping a nuclear bomb on them.
No, they wouldn't.
You're entitled to
18 months. We were 18 months. Anne, Bunny, and I kept hitting them for the funding for the chair. The chair's going to break. There's going to be an accident. We had George, what's his name?
Molinauskas.
George Molinauskas fighting for me. We had lots of political intervention to try and get this chair through, and they kept stalling and stalling and stalling and stalling, kept stalling. People in the office said I didn't deserve having a chair that much. They would only release 54,000. The chair was 65,000. At first there was nothing, so it's another one of them making all these assumptions. Eventually, they pulled the money together in 1 hour and got it through, but it was 3 weeks the chair arrived 3 weeks afterwards. So that was in September. The chair arrived in 3 weeks after. And then yesterday, I decided yesterday to take it up again. I think this is ridiculous, I'm walking away from it. And I realised it was the anniversary of the accident. And I didn't even think about it. I didn't do it for that reason. I was just knew something had to be done.
Are you experiencing anniversary trauma? Just out of curiosity?
Yeah, I'm wondering if I was, because I knew something had to be done. And I thought it's time to take that. So I'm waiting. I mean, Elizabeth is same age as Dad, who knows. But we left it at a place. Continue, I paid for a barrister to look at the chair. I paid for what's it called? One of those photographers, a forensic photographer, to photograph the chair. I paid for research reports. I paid for a lot of happening already to prove of what happened with the chair. And I mean, Scooterwell won't touch me. The chair.
So this is separate. This is separate.
Oh yeah, it's separate. I know.
This is really another.
I know it's separate, but they're not scared of me. I'm not scared. I mean,
you don't need to be scary, Joe.
No, but NDS don't even know what they did. And they keep going on about like it's nothing. And it was massive. And I gave up on suing about the chair. And so that's why I thought, well, no, I'm going to make a stand. So I haven't heard back from Elizabeth yet. I looked at the email first thing in the middle of the day. I'm like a watch pot. We'll see. So that's on the side.
Treat them separately, obviously, and I mean, just focus on the AWT thing at the moment.
Yeah.
Because that the chair thing was.
But if that
you're
is,
going to be a zillionaire at the end of this, not with funding, but just with compensation.
but AAT is not about compensation. But who knows? Okay, let me deal with this. Let me get this thing.
So just remember, Freedom of Information Act form, just requesting where they're getting the information from. So
right now,
be very specific about that. Katie would be much more legally savvy than I am.
Are you? Access to these.
But just in the wording of it, you just need to specify. I'm saying ambiguously.
Wait, this is police records now. Wrong one, I think. So you got police records, medical records. No.
What do you get police and medical records for?
I don't know, I'm on the form.
So if you go to Freedom of Information, like you can do it through the Attorney General's office. Yeah.
And there's an email address on the type in FOI NDAS. There's an email on their website that says this is the Freedom of Information Act person.
So you just have to make sure. specify that the application is made under the Freedom of Information Act 1991.
Right, you're right.
And you can write in the form of a letter or email it to them. Yeah.
And make sure you CC a couple of people, like maybe a lawyer, maybe Daxa, Katie, myself, just so it's not just going to get lost into the ether and they go, oh, we didn't receive it, or whatever.
Yeah.
And put on one of those tick the box on the email so you get a response when they've read it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And maybe just get a few people to proofread it before you get criticism before you send it, just so you're not emotionally sending it.
Yeah.
Video rifle.
It'd be good to
because you can even under the Freedom of Information, you can application to amend personal information if it's incomplete, incorrect, misleading, or out of date.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I guess in that would be the profile they've created for Joe.
Yeah, that's right. It's misleading.
Any correspondence. But you know, they could be a separate FOI form.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Like, and but just the wording of it, you just need to be very deliberate. So don't be ambiguous. Be very specific in the requests. Meaning, like, any information suggesting Joanne's working for 3 days. I don't know. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but it's like a patent. Be very specific. Don't be ambiguous.
Yeah.
Because if you're ambiguous, they'll, give you ambiguous answers.
Can you please provide where you were given who gave you
Not. Please provide me with the
information.
Evidence.
That has been provided you, suggesting that I am. But maybe send that off to Anne Bunning before you send it in, or just get as much criticism before you send it, so people with experiences with freedom of information can.
Please provide me with as much information, all the information regarding the.
I can probably pop up for 10 minutes, but I'll have to go.
Yeah.
I'm going to get up to the Feathers Hotel, sorry. And punch a few darts as well.
Oh, it's Monday night. It's quiz night at the Feathers.
Is it?
Yeah.
My phone's got warm tonight.
Oh. Do you know, I've had my feet up for like 16 weeks. I have done bugger all apart from go fishing. And, I was getting a bit depressed. And now I'm in this manic state. Like, I can't sit down for 5 seconds when I'm running. Like, I was up at like midnight. I fell asleep in the afternoon yesterday. I woke up at midnight. I spent like midnight to 4 a.m. researching my family history and like the boats and whatnot. And then I was like, oh, I'm going to go to sleep now. Oh, but the high tide in 3 hours. I'm going to go fishing. So I've like literally, I got home from fishing at about 10. I had a shower. I went and got a massage. I've gone home, had another shower. Now I'm going to see Joan. Then I'm going to the Feathers. And yeah, it's just like I'm just being thrown into manic mode.
Oh, well, it's
I
better.
want to go back to just fishing and being on holiday.
I know. I found it really hard to get out of holiday mode. But it's good to be back at work.
Right, I'll just quickly punch a dart. Joe, you should be able to see me. I'm just in front of the bus station.
Oh my god, I fucking thought you were going to darts.
No, I punched a dart.
Shut up, hang up, hang up.
It's Carney.
Alright. Hang out, bye. Can you see them or not? What's your...
So, please provide me with all the information and evidence of the claim that I work for 3 days a week requiring a taxi for transport provided through NDIS funding.
This is for the work. Oh, okay. Okay. Look. Please provide me with all the information regarding where you obtained knowledge, what knowledge what evidence you have. That not meant to work.
Where the belief
that. Sorry to stop you here. Move from it. Wait, okay, then. There's blue. The line. Just a little bit. Move it.
Everyone?
Yep. This bedroom, pink. Turn bottom up. To your right.
Everyone?
Go back. That one, side. First one. The other corner. Other corner.
After that,
Two.
that
Other corner.
I'm working volunteer. So it still stands that I don't get funding.
Not managing your care.
No, but it's my business. I taxi to a company. My offices are somewhere.
Hang on.
They say I taxi to my offices. They say I taxi to my offices.
Yeah, but let's talk about that, right? So
Travel.
when
I
they
travel
say
to work.
volunteering
Got
to your
up
business, are they referring?
No.
Come on. You know, you saying that people in the model, when they're making Model T holdings, Model T forwards,
below cost? Funding for repairs and maintenance is included as per AT item. Major repairs are no longer included in the PACE system as a line item. The quote required and now require a quote and OT assessment for inclusion via a plan variation.
Go.
The service booking below has come from the plan which
That I have. No, the paperwork is here.
Go back with it. That.
they're not providing any evidence. Do you have any evidence that supports that claim?
Pause.
You know, so basically you're asking for a
Do you have any evidence that supports the claim? First way. Moving up. First way.
trial, and to have a conversation where all the evidence is brought forth, you know, so you can actually talk about it.
That was the
So hopefully make the step.
That was
Yeah. Do you have any evidence that supports this claim?
That's to the lawyer. The same. That's it.
That I have. No, I wouldn't say that. I went back to work 3 days a week, and this is
Then I went through
the
the
home in March with the one of the certified. So it says as documented in the email.
That's documented where? That's documented where?
in the email.
In the email.
dated from course dated 23 March or March? No?
I think it was the 20th of April.
Okay.
But, you know what's good? We can check, because we've got it.
Yeah. And you're right. 18th of April, 8:22 p.m. From no, that's right.
No, the one that she
23
wrote was on the
March.
20th of April.
No, 23 March. 11:15 a.m. Big dinner.
No, she said, "Hi Joanne and Katie, my understanding from our conversation is that you, Joanne, are self-employed and run a business." That's on the 20th of April.
What? Yeah. What about this?
The 23rd is the plan one.
What about this one? Sounds right. What level? And send this to away. What? Sounds right. Okay. 22nd minute. I sent it to email to you.
Oh, that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's 22nd, 3rd March.
Oh, that.
Return to me. That your transport letters can't because you go to work. There's no evidence to show that you travel to work. And then the other one is that the 2 emails, one's out, one's out. So one's that email, one's that email. I'm doing a chair now. Okay, now. Any more? First play?
Friday, David, Josh, and
Oh, you first play first? Good boy. Good boy.
Oh, hello.
Hello,
Are you back?
Hello.
I'm back.
Good.
If I say
Yeah, good boy.
to the lawyer, yeah, evidence, I have any evidence.
That's it.
Information Act policy they have request the any documentation or they're basing their decisions on, and you know that may mean you need to adjourn the decision again, adjourn the hearing until you get that information. Because once you've got that information, you know now what they're talking about, but until they, you know, provide any of that, you don't have a clue. They're just saying, like, yeah, you fucking spray painted that wall paint. It's like, where the fuck are you getting that information from? You know?
Yeah.
It's like, it's he said, she said shit. Like, this.
Are you typing? You can help us finish then. You can help us finish. We're going back in the conversation. The cameras to remember what you said. He's here in person now.
Hello.
Press start play again. This is what we're having a conversation before you watch him go. He's still here, see?
It's law. It's legal. They're putting you through. You're most likely going to get, like,
Good
you
boy.
know, in a good
So
situation.
So I've got 2 emails to request information about. The one is the one where they said I'm working with for taxi the 22nd. Thank you very much. But I'm trying to get the wording shortened from read depending what we've got. And then can you go back to Saturday? We're on the Friday night
I've got
Yeah, I'm doing Friday night now.
with 6:30 and
lots
Friday.
of bits and pieces. So I wrote in at first referring to work, which is the fashion parade and the women's awards gala dinner. Taxi is needed because due to Jo's disability, she is not able to get there of her own volition.
So should we just simply write asking for information? Aren't we just writing request where they got information?
Make requests.
That's
Don't give explanations. Let them.
Don't we?
That's my
New email.
feelings anyway. I don't. Again, I'm not.
So,
So
Yeah.
So Lisa Rake said the same thing.
Yeah.
Ben, that's why when Ben said it's like okay.
Yeah.
So
I know, so I started
Lisa
off
wanted
writing.
doing it, and then Hal said don't. She said don't.
yeah. So
Worry about it, and then Ben said it. So we've got 2 people around me saying go and get it from them. Because what Hugh said is, if you do what Lisa said, is get everything will be put behind for out like a year with AAT. But Ben said be specific. Get that and
well, you
that to you.
so just request the evidence that's indicative that Joanne is working. And
Yeah.
And
so
where that I'm going to work. And
then
that's
keep the
it.
stuff you've got about the fashion parade
Keep
and
it all
and
in
also
Don't
landmark
give
coaching.
or keep.
Keep, but keep it in a separate document. So in the request,
But don't give it to them.
don't. Yeah, let them
Yeah,
let
yeah.
them say,
This is
oh,
just
but
getting
you've been
information.
doing this stuff. But what they're going to be doing is providing
Where
their
they
informant's
Yeah.
information. That's
Let's just say the
indicative.
lady who's an informant, for example.
Yeah, it was most
They'll
likely
give
Lily.
that to. They'll give that information. But the way Lisa was going to do was getting everything to do with this for a year. That would slow everything down because they have to do it. They have to provide it to you. So, Freedom of Information Act. Then Ben came along and said be specific, so that's why I said do it.
And so like
It's 2
in
people.
the Joanne's evidence to say, oh yes, one of my goals was
Yeah.
such and such. That's in a follow up to their statements. Like, oh yeah, you appeared as South Australian Women of the Year. You appeared at Bedford Industries, and that's when Jo's itemised
Yeah.
accounts would be then her retort to say, well, yes, but they are linked to my
That
goal in 2020.
2,100 for whatever deposit is from into the Image Shift grant account is from that company, and that paid for all that makeup. See, it went out there.
And you had lots of in-kind donations